Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, which happens to be another weather update. I'm actually posting this earlier than I usually do, and this is more of a rare occasion kind of weather event. What I mean by this is that we're going to see what's called a bomb cyclone play out this weekend. Now I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, what the heck is a bomb cyclone? Well, it's basically a gigantic, powerful storm characterized by very quick, very rapid intensification, as well as a sudden drop in atmospheric pressure. And what this drop in pressure indicates is worsening weather conditions, which is precisely what we're going to see this weekend. So where we're going to start off here on our weather report is all the way down here in northern Florida. Whereas a Friday, this is what we're looking at right now. Well, if we just check the models here, here's the GFS, here's the Euro, and here's the NAM. We actually see that all three of these models are actually in relatively good agreement that we can see this huge trough, a really dip in the jet stream that'll actually approach from the northwest here and just completely swoop through the area. And in turn, it'll actually bring quite a few good scattered showers, really moderate to heavy showers here throughout the state, especially closer to the shore. Really around cities like Jacksonville, like I said, mostly northern Florida, although maybe even cities like Miami may also get some scattered showers. As you can see, the low pressure, we got a low pressure system forming right here in this area. I'll get into that in just a minute. That's basically what we're going to talk about. It's what's going to be causing what we're going to be talking about throughout the video. I expect rainfall amounts here to maybe in the quarter of an inch range throughout the state of Florida. So once these colder temperatures actually move in throughout the southeastern region, especially through northern Florida, combined with that rainfall that's going to be falling throughout the state, definitely keep temperatures below normal for this time of year, with the lower to mid 50s across southeastern Georgia as well, and maybe in the upper 50s and lower 60s around northeastern Florida, which is still below average. Now once we actually fast forward to Friday night, we really see some more action and some movement here with this very robust trough pushing across the southeast, which is really what the main culprit is here for the Arctic air, and of course the below average temperatures to really move through the region. So now if we just get an understanding of what we're expecting temperature wise for Friday night by viewing the GFS model here, we just see how these temperatures just completely drop into the 30s and 40s once this trough moves in, as well as the cold front. You see here northern Florida, maybe around Jacksonville. We're actually looking at wind chills right now. I would be looking at the temperature anomaly, but it's actually glitched right now. But yeah, once this trough moves in, we're going to be seeing these temperatures just completely plummet into the 30s, even into the upper 20s that you saw there, especially throughout Georgia, even getting into the teens here, even throughout South Carolina. So definitely going to bring a lot of Arctic air in. And for those of you who don't know, that's actually very, very cold for those Floridians here, around 27 degrees. In late January. That's actually very rare and catastrophic for them. So what we're going to see throughout Friday night, in addition to the Arctic temperatures, is this low pressure system develop offshore off the Florida coast. Actually right around here we can see it begin to develop, really rapidly strengthening as it gets swept through the northeast by this strong southwesterly flow in place. You can see it's going to move right up the eastern seaboard here and really in that northeast kind of direction due to the dip in the jet stream we have here in place. Like I said, that trough, you can even see here these blue lines indicating there's just a big dip in the jet stream, dipping all the way through the deep south throughout Alabama, Georgia, all throughout here. So just pushing southeastward, in turn causing this low pressure system to form and move northeastward. That's really going to begin to affect inland areas with precipitation later on Friday night. You can see here, it's actually what we're looking at later on Friday night. We can see some rain showers begin to pop up here across eastern South Carolina. This is really going to be more of a coastal kind of storm, more like a nor'easter once it gets into the northeast and mid-Atlantic region. Eventually we may even see some more snow inland as we move up here towards the mid-Atlantic, but as far as here in the Carolinas, mostly coastal areas. As far as Georgia, I may just really skip over that state. Besides the cooler temperatures, not really looking like we're going to get much of any kind of precipitation from this storm. Maybe some of the coastal areas may get a couple showers, but as far as the state in general, definitely colder. Even a chance of snow. Actually, we see some snow developing up here throughout the upper south, throughout Tennessee and western North Carolina. Not really a part of this system, but it is going to get looped into this system. And like I said, the cooler temperatures, like all throughout here at this time, it's definitely, especially since it's the nighttime hours and lows are beginning to kick in, definitely seeing anywhere from 20 to 30, maybe even, like I said, I think I even saw the wind chills getting down into the teens, maybe 15 to 20 degrees here throughout Georgia. So definitely is possible to get some snow there, maybe some light snow showers. But as far as this low pressure system we're tracking right now, like I said, the greatest rain chances are expected to remain offshore. However, some of the outer bands from the storm can, and most likely will, push across the land areas, possibly reaching the further inland locations, maybe around 3 in the morning. So very early hours when many will actually be sleeping. Then again, it is really early to determine, and it really depends on the strength and placement for the low, as to determine how much rain we really see here. But the best chances of rain are in place along the immediate coastline, maybe in the cities like Myrtle Beach, Garden City, maybe even Charleston as well. But chances do actually decrease if we move slightly inland. And when I say slightly, I mean even cities like Conway here. As soon as we get just slightly inland, still going to see a lot of cold temperatures. Actually, temperatures will drop even further. But as far as rain, not very likely. So now we're looking back at the wind chills here. And much like we saw in Florida and Georgia, a very intense southern cold front will swiftly move eastward across the area Friday night. When I say area, I specifically mean South Carolina, even southeastern North Carolina. We're just looking at wind chills here. As far as wind chill, the wind chill factor alone here, definitely able to see the low 20s across South Carolina, especially as we go more inland to the mountain range Appalachian Mountains here in northwestern South Carolina, maybe even getting into the upper teens. But as far as here, the coastline where we may see some of that rain move through, wind chills may very well be below freezing point, which brings me to my next point, where we may even get a small chance of snow here, although it is still unlikely because we're very close to the shore. This system will be producing more rain rather than snow, but the wind chills here still looking like below freezing. Like I said, there is a possibility that as temperatures decrease overnight, a changeover from rain to snow, as well as snow flurries, could actually occur for a few hours just before dawn, really. Possibly even across Charleston County here, maybe even Horry County as well. But it's still really early to tell exactly if we do. But any kind of snow we really see here, any kind of snow we may see in South Carolina, it really depends on how fast the moisture really gets pushed offshore ahead of the front to bring in a lot of that cooler air that will be replaced with maybe a couple of light snow showers. Nothing crazy though. Not really expecting any kind of accumulations whatsoever. But as we get into North Carolina, that may be a different story. Which actually brings me to my next point. Now, the chances of snow are very low here in South Carolina. But what about North Carolina? Well, this is where things kind of get tricky. Here's why. If we actually look at the 0Z on the GFS model, we see that the majority of precipitation, along with the low pressure system, is actually placed closer to the shore, really all across North Carolina, as well as South Carolina too. Whereas on the Euro model, as we're seeing right now, it's actually placed further east from the shore. So this really goes for both of the Carolinas, as it is really a big factor in how much rain or snow we can actually get. Then again, it is only Wednesday, so it is very early to really tell the exact track and how close to the shore we'll be, and really how much snow or rain we'll get. But this is the best understanding we have now. Anywhere from here, this area where the low is placed here, to closer to the shore in this area. So if we actually take a look now at the GFS ensembles, to get more of a consensus, we actually see how it lies somewhere in the middle here, but still siding with the GFS model, with it being closer to the shore. This becomes particularly important Friday night as a deepening upper trough actually approaches from the west and may begin to shape into more of a negative tilt, basically leaning this way to the southeast, which in turn will actually cause there to be less precipitation along the shore. So overall, there's plenty of uncertainty, but there could be a 6-hour period, roughly 6 hours, where snow could actually fall. It could even be extended if more, like I said, it is still rapidly intensifying, so there may even be more of an extended period. Overall, snow could definitely fall anywhere from like a 6-hour period, particularly across southeastern North Carolina, closer to the shore, where it could accumulate possibly up to an inch of snow. And we're talking about southeastern North Carolina, maybe around Wilmington. So you even see some of the blue showing up here on the radar. It is possible we may get up to an inch or two of snow. But like I said, mostly rain, but it may even switch over to snow, maybe more of a mix as well. It's very hazardous road conditions, got to keep that in mind too. But if you actually just recall from just last week, we did have Winter Storm Jasper come through and drop up to 5 inches of snow in this same area here. Really in this area, maybe more 3 to 5 inches of snow. But now this winter actually might make it seem like it's not even rare to get this many inches of snow in this area, but it definitely is. This will actually be our third chance of having snow in 2 weeks. So the very crazy winter you guys have been having so far, especially throughout the Carolinas. Winter Storm Jasper, especially, well actually with Winter Storm Jasper, it was more so inland, especially South Carolina, throughout the close to the Appalachian Mountains. You guys got most of the snow. Now after exiting the Carolinas, the low pressure system is actually expected to rapidly deepen as it tracks northeast. And when I say deepen, it generate more snow for a lot of the areas. You can see where it gets to a more darker blue shade, dropping a lot more snow. And it really just tracks northeast off the mid-Atlantic coast, really roughly Friday night into Saturday. However, much like the Carolinas, there is a difference in location depending on the different models, whether more offshore or farther inland, where we're going to get most of the snow. Like I said, it really depends where it's placed here out in the Atlantic. But the general consensus supports rain changing from snow moving northwest to southeast. What I mean by that is, say we're in Virginia here, if you guys are getting snow here, and then say in southeastern Virginia you guys are getting rain here, it will quickly change over moving this way, and that's when the trough is going to move in. Like I said, the trough is really moving southeast in this direction, so temperatures will quickly drop and change over to snow rather than rain. But the highest snow amounts over the eastern half of the area, closer to the shore. Now the latest ensemble guidance shows a very high potential of at least 1 inch across the area, especially northeastern North Carolina, across the Hatteras Islands here, especially across a good portion of Virginia here, ranging from northwestern Virginia all the way to southeastern Virginia. Big swath of snow here. that's really being generated from this really a nor'easter at this point. The way it's just quickly intensifying, but it can also be called a bomb cyclone. So like I said, that pressure is. I'll even show you guys right now in the GFS how as it just moves up the coast here, when it first originates around Florida and the Carolinas, we see right here it's at 1,000 millibars. That's what I mean as the pressure we're using here for this low pressure system. Move up maybe around 20 hours as it gets closer to Maine. See here now it's at 965. So that right there is like a 35 unit difference right there in terms of millibars. So definitely rapidly dropping in pressure, which in turn brings a lot of that. You can see here we already have heavier snow as well as this purple pinkish color. That's where we see more of the heavier snowfall. Whereas here, when it was across the Carolinas, even Virginia, it was at 993. So I think from here to here, it's just gonna drop from closer to 1,000 into to 960 in a matter of hours, which is can explain why once we get closer to New England, to the New England area, once it's past the Mid-Atlantic, closer to Massachusetts, the coast there, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maine, see a lot of that heavier snow begin to take place, where a lot of those higher accumulations could also be a result. As far as the ensemble, so even showing a possibility of possibly a good probability of 3 inches along the eastern portion of the I-95 corridor here. If you just move east closer to the shore, maybe even Virginia Beach, like I said, even northeastern North Carolina, may see 2 to 3 inches there. Possibly 3 inches, maybe even more, depending on how close it gets and how heavy the snowfall is. If we actually look here at the GFS rather than the ensemble, we're actually looking at a better chance of maybe even seeing up to 6 inches. 3 to 4 inches is really the general accumulation here. Really in northeastern North Carolina and southeastern Virginia, this is where we're going to get most snow throughout this area. Maybe even more snow than areas like southeastern New Jersey. Although there was still, maybe not though, maybe closer to the shore here. In cities like Atlantic City, I may see up to 5 to 6 inches. But as far as this area, still looking like we're going to get a lot of inches. With it being so far south, like I said, North Carolina getting up to 6 inches of snow, very rare this time of year. But you can see as we get up to Maryland and Delaware, we could see even more. Possibly even up to 8 inches in some areas, like localized heavy snow. Once we get a lot of that, once a lot of that energy kicks in, like I said, this is really where that transition begins, where the atmospheric pressure starts to drop with the system from 1,000 millibars all the way to closer to 950, literally dropping 50 millibars as it moves up further towards the New England area. But as far as here, this is when things begin to, this when conditions begin to worsen as far as weather. See here, 4 inches in northeastern Carolina, throughout Maryland and Delaware, through the Delaware River, Maryland, really the Delmarva region, possibly up to 5 to 8 inches would be like a general kind of consensus there. But as we get into New Jersey, still maybe seeing, you can just see where that line is as we get close. It's definitely going to be more of an eastern. It's really what it's going to be is a nor'easter. Moving up the coast here, as you move more east throughout these states, Virginia, North Carolina, especially New Jersey, you can just see that line right there, how cities like Philadelphia might not even, maybe an inch, but then as we move more eastward, say an hour east to Atlantic City, seeing up to 5 to 6 inches. So definitely, it's going to be moving right along the eastern seaboard here, right along the coast. But anyway, back to what we're talking about here in North Carolina, possibly 4 to 6 inches close to the shore, but as far as we go more inland, maybe 2 to 3 inches. And as far as more southeastern North Carolina, maybe 1 to 2 inches for the immediate coastline. Really nothing as we get into South Carolina. Not even really receiving an inch there. Like I said, no kind of accumulation. Like I said, maybe a general 1 to 2 inches over the Piedmont of the early central Virginia as the Piedmont of Virginia. Maybe seeing 1 to 2 inches. Maybe closer to 3 inches here as we get into Western Virginia. But another thing we actually have to take into consideration here are these very gusty, breezy winds. These very strong wind conditions as it moves up the shore into the Carolinas and Virginia, really northwest, which could actually result in some blowing the drifting snow. See here throughout North Carolina and Virginia, seeing maybe up to 15 to 20 miles per hour here, especially northeastern South Carolina, maybe even seeing closer to 20 miles per hour here. Sustained winds, like I said, gusts can possibly get up to 30 to 40 miles per hour as it really just brushes just right off the coast here. Like I said, as like I said again, as millibars are going to drop, we could see it almost looks more like a tropical storm here, but we get those very strong winds, like almost like a windshield right on the outside of this low pressure system, maybe up to 50 miles per hour. Even off the shore here of Massachusetts, I believe I've even heard a couple times it is possible to get hurricane force winds with the storm. For the most part, more like tropical storm force. See here throughout Maryland and Delaware, maybe getting up to 20 to 30 miles per hour. So very windy conditions, especially when we're talking about snow here, can create blinding snow even what you call ground blizzards, so very hazardous road conditions as well. As far as the forecast highs, or should I say wind chill highs, because like I said, the temperature anomaly is just broken. But as far as wind chills, we're looking like we could look like it can range really from the upper 20s to the 30s. Especially for the northeast. As we get into Saturday night, or really when it's going to be affecting most of these areas, it's going to be more like Saturday morning, really around this time. But as we move further into the day Saturday, like I said, like I was talking about earlier, these cooler Arctic temperatures going to be moving from the northwest to the southeast. So like I said, a prime example I was talking about earlier, here in northwestern Virginia, we may be getting less snow than, of course, southeastern Virginia, but we can still be getting snow nonetheless, because like I said, there's outer bands. Say we're going to get snow here in northwestern Virginia, we're going to be sitting at temperatures maybe just below freezing, 28 to upper 20s to 30 degrees. Then as we move into southeastern Virginia, close to the Virginia Beach, that can get as many as 4 to 5 inches of snow, a lot more snow. It's going to be in the 40s to start off today, so maybe definitely going to be getting some rain there. Then it's going to turn over, maybe getting some mixed precipitation. Then we just fast forward a couple hours, it's going to be in the 20s, just like that, as the trough moves through, and we're going to be into the low 20s actually. So very quick temperature change. Snow's just going to move right in. This snow is more likely to track far enough offshore and deepen far enough, or really intensify and strengthen more. But the heaviest band we're talking about in the mid-Atlantic here could definitely set up in the Delmarva region, Maryland, Delaware, especially southern Jersey, which is actually where I'm located. I've said this previously in videos. This is where I'm probably going to be recording this weekend, because I'm sure we're going to get some snow. As far as accumulations, as you saw, anywhere from like 2 to 4 inches as you go more inland, like where I'm kind of in the middle here. I'm kind of in central South Jersey, but as you move more east, closer to the shore, in counties like, like Ocean County, Eastern Atlantic County, Cape May County, they can get up to 6 inches, I'm sure. That's what it's looking like. Like I said, it is only Wednesday, so we're only halfway through the week. This is going to be a weekend event, so the accumulations could definitely increase to maybe even closer to 10 inches, and maybe it could even decrease. But I highly doubt that, the way the storm is looking, the way it's intensifying, but still a possibility. But like I said, we're going to get these heavy bands move through the Delmarva here, especially the New Jersey, New England coast, with the northwestern edge setting up over southern Maryland. Like I said, really creating a lot of that heavier snow across the eastern shore. But like I said, we're also going to have this gradient setting up here, serving almost as a barrier between lighter and heavy snowfall. I actually showed you guys in the ensemble kind of accumulation. We have this line here, almost like this barrier, where it's going to separate from. We're just going to use New Jersey as an example here. Is it eastern Jersey getting a good couple inches of snow, western South Jersey the coating to an inch of snow closer to Philadelphia. So we're definitely going to have this gradient set up here. But like I said, the heavier snowfall looks like it's going to set up east of the I-95 corridor. And definitely warrants a very close watch. Because like I said, maybe in the next couple of days, it may get closer to the shore. Like I said, the models aren't really on such a good agreement of the exact track. So maybe, say on Friday, the low pressure system may be even closer to the shore. So once it gets up to like the mid-Atlantic, we could say it's closer to the Jersey Shore here. Philadelphia might even get a good couple inches of snow. It's still kind of early to tell there. But otherwise, most of the accumulation for right now should be close to the shore, the southeastern quadrant of the storm. Snow could definitely mix with the rain as the onset for the lower elevations here, even across Virginia, east of I-81 and south of maybe south of I-70 throughout Friday afternoon, due to ground level temperatures really being stuck in the mid to upper 30s. We're not really going to have that switch over until later, really midday Saturday maybe, or like the late morning hours, closer to lunchtime. But much like the last winter storm we got here, the upslope snow factor, but the upslope factor definitely come into play here, especially for the higher terrain, as they may even result in locally higher amounts, closer to 6 inches, especially maybe even across Virginia. Although I don't know about 6 inches, maybe a bit of a stretch, but a good couple inches of snow there, especially in the higher elevations. But as you can see here, as we're actually moving through the day, not only temperatures are going to drop, but wind chills as well. We're actually looking at wind chills right now. We're talking about brutally cold, dangerously cold wind chills. They're definitely going to be likely by Saturday evening. Like I said, really throughout the day Saturday, temperatures are going to continue to decline rapidly, really. Much like the system, it's like a common trend here, just rapidly intensifying, rapidly declining. But blowing snow could also be possible as winds increase. Like I said, wind's going to be such a big factor here. That's really what's going to bring in those wind chills. So like temperatures could really be around 20 here, maybe even closer to 30 degrees. But the wind chills could be in the single digits. So even in northwestern, even getting to West Virginia, it could be below zero. But I can tell this is actually Saturday evening. You see the pressure here, the low pressure system, almost like this swirl you see here in the anomaly. But it's, like I said, it's going to be Saturday evening when we see most of these cold temperatures. But when we see this, when these cold temperatures are going to come into play. But as the storm is actually occurring, you can see the wind chills are going to be more like still in the teens. But then before the system even moves through the region, we're going to be still in the 40s. So you can just see here, I'm going to play it out for you guys. Let's just look here in southeastern Virginia, 41 degrees in the Virginia Beach area, closer to 41 degrees, maybe even just around 40 degrees. We just fast forward here throughout the day. See this cold front now we're in the 20s, and now we're in the teens, and now we're in single digits there as the system moves out. And these are just wind chills, by the way, not sustained temperatures, but it's still very cold. And snow may even linger around the, especially east of the I-95 corridor throughout Saturday morning, depending on the evolution of the offshore low. But as we get into closer to the mid-Atlantic here, even closer to New Jersey, even the New York City area, closer to, like I said, throughout Maryland and Delaware, at the Delmarva there, this is when noise here is really going to strengthen. This then results in a further east track of the surface low. This is where we have more of an agreement among the models here, which shows a really high impact snow event along the shore. I think if we actually look at the NAM model here, I actually just realized this. There are still more western solutions here that we're working with. You can see here western New Jersey, western Virginia, even western North Carolina. We see some more snow here. Then again, this is only one model, but this may actually come to fruition. Like I said, it's still really early. It's only Wednesday. Like I said, it's just a 0Z NAM model. But today's trends will definitely be important here with all the energy we have over the land now. Really, sampling will be steadily improving. And more accurate model solutions should really start converging maybe in the next 12 to 24 hours. But in terms of timing, still looks like there can be some light snow around during the day Friday before the storm really gets here. So yeah, this is around Friday. See here, maybe some lingering snow showers here across, especially northwestern Virginia throughout West Virginia. Maybe seeing some very, very light snow showers before this system even really develops here. Like I said, the main events are really going to be taking place here from Friday night through at least midday Saturday. But you can see it's really not a whole lot of time. Maybe not even 24 hours here. We're talking about this crazy snowstorm. See it rapidly intensifying. I mean, just look at it here. When it's in the mid-Atlantic, it doesn't even look that. I mean, it already looks like just a mess here, not very organized. But as you know, like I said, the millibaric pressure drops go up maybe 5 to 10 hours. You can just see how how much more organized it looks, how much more vertical shear there is. But even throughout the mid-Atlantic as well, throughout states like New Jersey, we're still gonna have to watch those winds. Once the system actually passes through, especially throughout New Jersey, we could see possibly winds gusting up, not even gusting, these are just sustained winds at times, closer to 20 to, especially over to running up the shoreline here. You see cities like Ocean City, Atlantic City, even Margate, up to 40 miles per hour. Maybe even gusting up to 45 to 50 miles per hour. So very strong winds, definitely tropical storm force. But as we just move a little more inland here, closer to central South Jersey, we can see maybe 15 to 20 miles per hour. Still very gusty conditions though, gusting up to 30 to 40. But as we move close to the shore, winds are just going to rapidly intensify. Like really just especially on the backside of the strengthening storm as it really just starts to depart. As you can see here, as it's just beginning to move out, we can see some winds even intense. Now we're looking at just like that, as it's just moved up the coast. Like I said, that's just how much it's intensifying. That we're still that the effects and the remnants of the storm after it already passes are going to be more, possibly, especially the wind factor, it's going to be more intense than when the storm was right here off the shore. That's just how much it intensified. But up to 20 to 30 mile per hour now, we're looking at sustained winds here across the region, especially throughout Maryland and Delaware. So even potential blizzard conditions close to the coast cannot be out of the question here. But now at this point, once it departs from the Mid-Atlantic, really getting into the New England area, where we could definitely see 0Z guidance here. We're looking at the GFS. Guidance definitely continues to boost confidence that we're in store for a very high impact winter storm here for southern New England on Saturday as well. That just continues to move northeast from the mid-Atlantic. And even, like I said, even if we look at the Euro model, we can see more of an agreement here of what we're looking at in terms of snow. We're still seeing that pink show up, especially for eastern Massachusetts, eastern Connecticut. So definitely holding steady, and all global guidance and agreement that some locations will experience significant snowfall, strong winds, as well as coastal flooding. That's another factor I also got to talk about here. So we do now know actually that the guidance is trending favorably for a very big, massive storm. Like I said, also called a bomb cyclone. But then again, the track is still kind of remains uncertain here, the exact track. But then again, this track will actually tell us exactly where the greatest snow, wind, as well as coastal flooding concerns really are. So we're going to narrow it down here over the next couple of days. But really, the Euro model here continues to favor a phasing solution, leading to more stronger mid-level flow, which really kind of differentiates from the GFS model, which really keeps these features more out of the picture here, and leads to a low that deepens more slowly and really intensifies more slowly. Either way, there really is a great deal of confidence that this trough will generate a surface flow beginning and off the Florida coast, off the Carolinas here, that'll rapidly intensify as it moves up through the New England area. And if we just look at the Euro right now, it looks like this storm could drop central pressure by at least 24 millibars in the next 24 hours. I mean, if we just look at the Euro, it's actually looking like even more of a drop, closer to 950. From all the way over here, it was just 1,000, closer to 1,000 off the Carolinas. Now looking at 950, so a big drop there in pressure, definitely worsening weather conditions. But again, like I was saying, if you even just look here, you see these lines. This is what you call a very tight, intense pressure gradient, meaning very strong, potentially damaging winds. Especially if we just move a little more south here, for areas where we have look at these coastal areas. You can see this pressure gradient here, all these lines, what are called isobars. We're clustering up here and bringing a lot of those windy conditions. So much so that it may be possible, like I said, gusts up to 70 miles per hour, closer to hurricane force winds for the Cape Islands of Massachusetts during the peak of the storm on Saturday. But now, as far as snow totals here for the New England area, for say areas closer to the shore of Massachusetts, we could actually definitely see up to a foot of snow. This is even saying possible up to 2 feet of snow. I'm not sure how accurate that is. This is just a GFS, but it's definitely have a lot of confidence just from this model alone. That ensemble percentage possibility for a foot of snow can maybe continue to place a 60 to 70% over really southeastern Massachusetts. That's the zone where we're going to see most snow. If we just look at the ensemble now, the GFS ensemble, go ahead and check it out here. We can see once we get the snow moving through, once the system really begins to move through, we can see easily can see closer to a foot, 7 to 10 inches maybe. But anyway, this is just the ensemble. This is what all the models are really agreeing with, at least 5 to 6 inches, maybe even 7. So with depending on the different models here, whichever one comes to fruition, it can definitely be possible to get a foot of snow, especially with the GFS model. But it's just crazy how much we're going to see this gradient take place, how inland Massachusetts, if we just go just slightly inland, really even 2 to 3 inches here, like a general snowfall, and then we just move a little more east from 1 to 3 inches, we reach a foot of snow. I mean, literally, you can see with the where I'm hovering over with the cursor here, 3 inches. Then we just move a couple inches here in the on the snow map. Whoops, a couple inches here on the snow map. Then we're at closer to 12 inches. We're still 17. I don't know about 2 feet of snow. Really depends on how much the storm intensifies, but we're definitely looking right now at a foot of snow at least, the bare minimum. Closer to the shore right here, this hook. Then we may get 20 inches here, but like I said, the ensemble only show closer to a foot, like 6 to 7 inches, possibly even 10 inches. But the combination of the strong northeast winds, along with the very high tide, very high seas, will definitely bring storm surges, very extreme storm surges that, with coinciding with the high tide, could lead to minor to moderate coastal flooding along the area. But the difference in storm timing is of as little as 6 hours would have a large impact on this coastal flooding, though, because depending on the tide. But I think we definitely got to stay tuned for that. Believe it or not, it'll actually make its way through the northeast, through the New England area, throughout even getting some snow here in New Hampshire. While the potential for a major winter storm continues to loom for late Friday night and the Saturday night, all the way into Maine. Now the latest model runs have actually backed off on how big the snow impact will be. That'll actually potentially have on the state. But the 12Z models compared to the 0Z model runs have trended more so east. And the fact that the GFS has trended so far east that the majority of the snow would be over the eastern Gulf of Maine here. But overall, an eastern track, which is what the GFS is kind of predicting here, would actually result in less snowfall for most of the areas here in Maine, especially as you go more inland. But being that this event is still 60 plus hours ahead of time, is still the likelihood that the models could shift some more. Either more west or east. That's really the big question. Is it going to be close to the shore or further away? This is going to be the big factor here as to how much snow we can get, especially further inland. Like I said, winds in either scenario will become very strong and gusty, especially over the coastal region, over the coastal waters. But depending on how much snowfall is blowing, and drifting snow could definitely become a possibility, as well as a very big issue Saturday afternoon, as well as in a Saturday night. But with that being said, we're going to have very hazardous weather conditions all the way from the Carolinas here, all the way up to Maine, throughout the New England, Mid-Atlantic regions, even throughout the Southeast, seeing where those rain showers take place, not so much snow. Like I said, we may even see up to an inch in southeastern North Carolina, but as we get into more northeastern Carolina as well as throughout Virginia, that's when things will definitely begin to ramp up here. But we are expected to have tropical storm force winds as well, heavy snowfall at times, and very icy conditions, given the temperatures may linger in the mid-30s further south across Virginia, Delaware, Maryland, even New Jersey. Then we may have more of that mix set in, as well as some more ice begin to develop, especially on roads. So a lot going on over the weekend. Rarely all of it occurring in the frame of just 24 hours, so rapid intensification is very likely to unfold while it quickly moves up the eastern seaboard. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much your update for today. It is still very early, it's only Wednesday, but I might release another update video here on YouTube before Saturday. Really depends on my schedule, though. Unfortunately, I wasn't actually able to make a video on the last Winter Storm Jasper, as my schedule was pretty much booked for that week. But anyway, I hope you all really enjoyed this update. If you did, please leave a like. And if you do really enjoy watching the weather content I make, maybe even consider subscribing as well. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. It is not -3 degrees in South Carolina. It is not. Oh, so it's going to be warmer in Canada than it's going to be in Florida. That makes sense.